Have you ever wondered what would happen if a nuclear war broke out? This question isn't just a mere thought experiment, it's a chilling possibility in today's global landscape. Nuclear war, the most destructive force known to humanity, is an omnipresent shadow cast by the existence of nuclear weapons. These weapons, packing an explosive power equivalent to thousands upon thousands of traditional bombs, are currently in the possession of several nations. The United States, Russia, the United Kingdom, France, and China, the 5 permanent members of the United Nations Security Council, are all nuclear armed. They're joined by India, Pakistan, Israel, and North Korea, all of whom have developed their own nuclear arsenals, and the list doesn't stop there. These nations hold the power to unleash devastation on an unimaginable scale. But why would they? What would lead to such a catastrophic decision? And what would the aftermath look like? As terrifying as it is, understanding the process of nuclear war is crucial in our modern world. So, what exactly triggers a nuclear war? The answer lies in a complex web of factors, each more chilling than the last. It's a dance of power, fear, and aggression, a high-stakes game where the players are nations and the cards on the table are nuclear weapons. Let us delve into the causes that might lead to a nuclear war. At the heart of it all are conflicts. These could be territorial disputes, ideological clashes, or economic rivalries. A nation might feel threatened or cornered, and in the face of such perceived aggression, they may decide that a show of nuclear force is the best way to safeguard their interests. Yet, it's not always about overt aggression. Sometimes it's about the silent game of power politics. A nation may seek to assert its dominance, to flex its nuclear muscle to keep others in check. This can create a dangerous cycle of provocation and retaliation, each side upping the ante, each side pushing the other closer to the nuclear brink. But how is the decision made to launch a nuclear weapon? It's not as simple as pressing a button. No, it's a process that involves a series of checks and balances, a chain of command that stretches from the highest echelons of government to the soldiers in the silos. The decision-makers must weigh the potential benefits against the catastrophic consequences. They must consider the political, strategic, and moral implications of their actions. They must grapple with the fact that once launched, a nuclear weapon cannot be recalled. The devastation it wreaks is irreversible. And yet, despite all these considerations, the decision to launch is ultimately a human one. It's made by individuals who, like all of us, are prone to fear, to anger, to miscalculation, and that's what makes the prospect of nuclear war so terrifying. The decision to launch a nuclear weapon is not taken lightly. It's a decision that weighs heavy on the world. Once the decision is made, the process of launching a nuclear weapon begins. Our journey takes us from the quiet confines of command centers to the roaring engines of intercontinental ballistic missiles. A sequence of events unfolds that marries human judgment with technological precision, a dance of life and death on a global scale. The first step in this process is the transmission of launch codes. These are not simple numbers, but complex strings of data, designed to ensure the authenticity of the order. They are sent from the highest echelons of government to the military personnel entrusted with the grave responsibility of launching the weapon. The launch codes are received in missile silos, submarines, and strategic bomber aircraft. In these places, men and women in uniform stand ready to act upon the orders they receive. The codes are authenticated, a process involving multiple checks and safeguards. It's a process designed to prevent any mistakes or unauthorized launches. Once the codes are validated, the launch sequence is initiated. This involves the preparation of the missile, the targeting systems, and the propulsion systems. It's a procedure that takes minutes, but in the grand scheme of things, these are the longest minutes in the history of mankind. The moment of launch is a crescendo of activity. The ground shakes as the missile breaks free from its silo, or the water parts as it launches from a submarine. The engines roar to life, propelling the missile towards its target. It's a spectacle of power and precision, a testament to human ingenuity and, at the same time, a stark reminder of our capacity for destruction. As the missile reaches its target, the warhead is detonated. The resulting explosion is unlike anything else on Earth. It's a flash of light, a wave of heat, a shockwave that obliterates everything in its path. It's a detonation that can level cities, change geographies, and alter the course of history. The launch and detonation of a nuclear weapon is a sequence of events that could change the world in an instant. It's a process that we hope never to see in reality, a sequence of events that should remain forever in the realm of theory and simulation. But what happens after a nuclear weapon detonates? Well, the immediate aftermath is nothing short of catastrophic. A nuclear detonation releases an enormous amount of energy in the form of light, heat, and a powerful shockwave. Everything within a certain radius of the detonation point is obliterated almost instantaneously. Buildings, trees, animals, and sadly, people are simply vaporized. The shockwave then radiates outwards, causing widespread destruction and potentially killing or injuring those who manage to survive the initial blast. But the devastation doesn't stop there. The heat from the explosion can ignite fires, which then spread rapidly, fueled by the debris from the blast. These fires can cause additional loss of life and property, and if they become large enough, they can create a firestorm, a situation where the fires generate their own wind systems, making them impossible to control. The environmental impacts are equally devastating. A nuclear detonation releases a large amount of radioactive material into the atmosphere. This radioactive fallout can contaminate large areas, rendering them uninhabitable for years or even decades. The radiation can also enter the food chain, affecting plants and animals and ultimately humans. And then there are the long-term health effects. Exposure to high levels of radiation can cause acute radiation sickness, a condition that is often fatal. Even those who survive may suffer from long-term health problems, including an increased risk of cancer. The psychological impact is also significant, with survivors often suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder and other mental health issues. Society as a whole would also feel the effects of a nuclear detonation. There would be significant economic impacts, with the cost of rebuilding and the loss of productivity. The social fabric could also be torn apart, with the potential for social unrest and conflict. The aftermath of a nuclear war is a grim scenario, one that the world strives to prevent. The scale of the devastation and the long-term consequences serve as a stark reminder of the need for nuclear disarmament and the prevention of nuclear war. In summary, nuclear war is a complex and terrifying concept. It begins with a provocation, a decision made in high-stakes political arenas. Then comes the launch and detonation, a process of such speed and power that it's almost beyond comprehension. The impact and consequences are devastating, not just in the immediate aftermath, but for generations to come. Why is understanding nuclear war so crucial? Because the more we understand, the better equipped we are to prevent it. The stakes couldn't be higher. This isn't about politics or power games. It's about the survival of our planet and future generations. So let's commit to understanding nuclear war, not as an abstract concept, but as a real, tangible threat. Let's educate ourselves and others, and let's use this knowledge to advocate for peace and disarmament. While nuclear war is a sobering topic, knowledge is our best defense. Stay informed, stay aware, and let's strive for a world free of nuclear threats.